These contrasting results highlighted the gap Ferrari must close. It is not just about raw speed. It is about consistency, precision, and capitalizing on every small advantage. In Hungary, Mercedes and Red Bull showed exactly what that looks like in practice. For Leclerc, watching his rivals succeed while he slipped backward only deepened the sting of defeat. Each point lost to competitors is a reminder that every misstep carries consequences in a championship defined by fine margins. Hungary was a painful lesson in what it takes to turn potential into results. Hungary's disappointment was not an isolated event. It was part of a larger narrative for Ferrari. The team has shown flashes of brilliance this season, but has repeatedly fallen short of delivering the consistency required to challenge Red Bull. Leclerc's loss of pace was a symptom of this broader problem. Ferrari has the drivers, and at times, the car to compete. What they lack is the ability to bring everything together on race day without mistakes. Until that happens, every race will feel like a battle against both rivals and their own shortcomings. This reality places added pressure on Leclerc, who has carried Ferrari's ambitions on his shoulders. Hungary only reinforced that he cannot do it alone. The car, the strategy, and the execution must all align. If Ferrari can learn from this defeat, Hungary may become a turning point. If not, it risks being another missed opportunity in a season already full of what-ifs. Charles Leclerc's painful loss of pace in Hungary was more than just a bad race. It was a reflection of Ferrari's ongoing struggle to transform potential into victories. For Leclerc, the frustration was real, but so was the determination to push forward. His candid admission of disappointment was not a sign of defeat, but a sign of accountability. It showed that he demands more from himself and from Ferrari. That mindset is what will drive change if the team can match his intensity. Hungary will be remembered not for what Leclerc lost, but for what it revealed. The fine margins that separate victory from disappointment, and the relentless work required to close that gap. For Leclerc and Ferrari, this race was a painful reminder of the challenges ahead. But it was also a call to action, a chance to regroup, refocus, and return stronger. Because in Formula One, every setback is only temporary for those who refuse to stop fighting. The Hungarian Grand Prix was supposed to be Charles Leclerc's opportunity to challenge for victory. Ferrari arrived with promising pace, and Leclerc was determined to deliver. Yet, as the laps unfolded, that promise slowly slipped away. Despite a strong start, Leclerc's car began losing performance, turning what could have been a winning race into a painful defeat. Leclerc later admitted his frustration. He revealed that there was only one clear chance to fight for the lead. And once that window closed, it never returned. His words carried the weight of disappointment from a driver who knew what was possible, but couldn't make it happen. For Ferrari fans, the race felt like another chapter in a recurring story, potential that fades under pressure. Hungary was not about a lack of effort or talent. It was about a pace deficit that even Leclerc's skill could not overcome. This loss left more questions than answers, both for Ferrari and for Leclerc himself, as they looked toward the next challenge on the calendar. From the opening laps, small but telling signs of trouble emerged for Leclerc. Although he held his ground initially, the Ferrari lacked the sharpness seen in practice. Rivals began closing the gap, and Leclerc was forced to push harder than planned just to stay in contention. Hungary's demanding circuit amplified every weakness. The high temperatures increased tire degradation, forcing Leclerc to manage his pace carefully. Each lap became a delicate balancing act between aggression and preservation. But as the race evolved, that balance tipped further out of his favor. Ferrari's engineers watched the data closely, but their options were limited. Tire strategy could only compensate so much for the underlying performance gap. The car lacked the consistent grip needed to challenge for the win. For Leclerc, this was the most frustrating part. He could feel the P&H ace slipping away, corner by corner, even as he gave everything behind the wheel. The early signs that Hungary would not deliver on its promise became impossible to ignore. There was one moment in the Hungarian Grand Prix that defined Leclerc's race. Midway through, a crucial decision on pit strategy became the turning point. Ferrari delayed his stop slightly, hoping to gain a tactical advantage. But instead, it opened the door for rivals to undercut him. When Leclerc rejoined the track, the gap had widened. His tires were fresher, but the lost track position was devastating. In a circuit where overtaking is notoriously difficult, every second mattered. Leclerc now found himself fighting uphill against the clock, rather than fighting for the lead. From that point, his race became damage limitation. The window of opportunity to challenge for the win had closed. Even flawless driving could not erase the strategic disadvantage. Leclerc's frustration after the race was rooted in this single moment. It was not only about losing a podium position, it was about watching his one chance at victory vanish in real time, knowing there was nothing more he could do. Tire management played a decisive role in Hungary, and for Leclerc, it became his greatest challenge. The Ferrari struggled to maintain grip over long stints, forcing him to adapt his driving style lap after lap. As the tires degraded, every corner demanded precision. Pushing too hard risked overheating the rubber, while holding back meant losing crucial time to his rivals. This constant compromise eroded any hope of a late charge for victory. Mercedes and Red Bull, by contrast, managed their tires more effectively. This difference allowed George Russell and Max Verstappen to keep their pace consistent, while Leclerc's lap times began to fade. No amount of determination could change the reality that Ferrari's car was eating through its tires faster than its competitors. In the end, tire degradation was not just a technical issue, it was a psychological one. Every lap reminded Leclerc that his car was losing performance, leaving him powerless to respond to the relentless pressure from behind. Hungary became a race of endurance rather than opportunity. After the race, Charles Leclerc did not hide his emotions. His post-race comments were raw, honest, and revealing. He admitted that he had been extremely frustrated with how the car performed and openly stated that there was just one fleeting chance to win, and it slipped away. This level of transparency is rare in Formula One. Leclerc could have placed the blame elsewhere, but instead he acknowledged the painful truth. It was a reminder of his determination and his refusal to settle for mediocrity. His words struck a chord with Ferrari supporters. They reflected the growing tension between potential and execution, between what Ferrari promises and what it actually delivers. For Leclerc, the defeat was not simply about losing points. It was about losing an opportunity that may not come again soon. His candid admission turned Hungary from a simple race result into a defining moment of self-awareness, one that could either push Ferrari forward or deepen the frustration within the team. Ferrari's performance in Hungary highlighted a deeper issue within the team. The pace was competitive at times, but their inability to convert that speed into a victory underscored ongoing execution problems. Strategy missteps, tire management struggles, and inconsistent performance combined to rob Leclerc of his chance to win. These issues have been seen before, but Hungary made them painfully clear once again. For every strong moment Ferrari delivered, there was another that undid their progress. This race was not just about one driver's disappointment. It was about a team still searching for the precision that defines champions. Red Bull and Mercedes excel because they leave no room for error. Ferrari, meanwhile, continues to find itself learning the same lessons repeatedly. Hungary's defeat will sting because it was avoidable. With better execution, Leclerc could have fought for more. Instead, he was left to explain a result that felt like another missed opportunity, one that Ferrari cannot afford to repeat if it wants to compete at the very top. Even in defeat, Charles Leclerc's mindset stood out. While his words reflected frustration, they also revealed resilience. He did not dwell on excuses. Instead, he focused on understanding what went wrong and how to fix it. This mental strength has always been one of Leclerc's defining qualities. Races like Hungary test a driver's resolve. It is easy to accept success, but it takes true determination to confront failure with clarity and purpose. Leclerc's response demonstrated why he remains one of the sport's most respected competitors. He acknowledged the pain of the loss, but he did not let it break him. Instead, he turned it into motivation, a challenge to come back stronger in the next race. This resilience may be Ferrari's greatest asset. A driver who can endure setbacks without losing focus is exactly what the team needs as it works to close the gap to its rivals. For Leclerc, Hungary was not just a defeat. It was a reminder of why he refuses to stop fighting. While Ferrari and Leclerc faltered, their rivals seized the opportunity. George Russell and Max Verstappen executed near-flawless races, showcasing the difference between good and great race management. Russell's podium finish came from intelligent strategy and disciplined driving. He defended against pressure and converted every opportunity. Verstappen, though not at his dominant best, demonstrated why Red Bull remains the team to beat by extracting maximum performance despite their own challenges.